Today my persuasive speech, oh my god, sorry, something like that, is about why we should read to our infants and young children, like toddlers. So I just wanted to ask a couple questions to start us off. How many of you here have children? You can raise your hand. Okay. How many of you have young children? Like back there, she has her infant, of course. Toddlers, things like that. So I'm just going to start off with like how exactly does early brain develop relate to reading? Children start reading to learn the day they're born. That's because reading is a part of language development, and the children begin learning language as they're infants. Decades ago, when we started school, people believed that children would learn to read easily if she had a good first grade teacher. Now that we know that, as researcher Betty Miles puts it, reading is like growing. It happens a little bit at a time. Step by step, children discover the meanings of words, the rhythm and the flow of language, and how to put it together to tell stories. And they also learn letters and their corresponding sounds. That printed letters represent spoken words. All of this must happen before a child can read printed words and understand what they mean. The brain is connected by like sensory stimulation. Babies learn through hearing, seeing, touching, smelling, tasting, and every experience establishes new brain connections. Young children need activities to stimulate their brains. The adults, like, we play a crucial role in their life. So like, the more actively engaged an adult is with the baby, the more the brain will grow. Children receive little attention from adults by smaller brains than their peers. Scientists say that a child's ability to learn can increase 25% or more depending on whether she grows up in a stimulating environment or not. Reading out loud, talking, singing, and playing are activities that can help your children develop language. Nursery rhymes, poetry, and songs help them learn about oral language. Rhythming books and songs encourage children to explore how sound works in language. When adults talk to their young ones about new words in their books, their brain connections are created, like read it again. And then the child feels cared for. The interactive book sharing stimulates their brain. She or he will learn more and more easily. So then there's this library, the Brooklyn Public Library. It's in New York City. Knows the importance of reading to infants to help boost brain development and school readiness. That's why it recently launched Brooklyn Reads to Babies, a 2-month outreach campaign that targets every family with a child less than 2 years old. With close to 40% of inhabitants hailing from other countries, Brooklyn is also a borough with the largest number of kids under the age of 5. With that in mind, program developers distributed brochures to hospital, doctor's office, and community centers. And I do work at the YMCA in the YDC department, so I know, like, I work in the baby room with the infants, the youngest ones, and we do, it's like a program, it's called Raising to Reader, where they like send home like little bags, books in there. So what is Raising a Reader? It's an evidence-based early literacy program helping young children, birth through age 5, develop, practice, and maintain habits of reading together at home. Core program model increases access to books and offers support for strengthening the culture of reading at home. And I have a little one myself, and so that's why I was really interested on my topic, because I wanted to like start reading to her. And she has like a few books already, but I do definitely want to get her more and start on that. Because they say, number one, obviously it boosts their literacy. And I heard it like makes them smarter when they get older. So benefit that. And then this books, Babies in Books is what it was called. is one of the 11 early literacy programs that were offered from November 2005 to January 2006 in 60 Brooklyn branches. Introduced caregivers to the importance of letting their babies hear an adult voice either through reading, singing, or talking at mealtime, bath time, or bedtime. The main message is to read to your baby whenever, wherever, and not to tie it to coming to libraries. And then, I'm just going to read some do and don'ts of the reading to infants and toddlers. So for the do's, read out loud when you read for pleasure. Very little babies have no idea what you're reading, so share a novel or a magazine article or grab their books. That way you both get to hear terrific stories together. Expose him or her to art. Show your baby the pictures from the family photo album or interesting art books. Picture books for babies and toddlers, that's really big. Just be careful, like they don't grab it, you know. So like touch and feel books, you know, show pages if they have like those flap belt things, stuff like that. Follow your baby's lead. Some babies like to open and close books by themselves. That's okay, just take it slow. Hand them back to you or stack them like blocks. This counts as reading too, I read. And keep books handy, you know, you can put them in the diaper bag, the stroller, at home. Make your own little library in the room. And then be prepared for repetition. Babies and toddlers often get stuck in particular favor and will zoom right into that book on the shelf, even if you offer others. So they're obviously going to play with a certain book that they want to play with. Just let them. It's like also soothes and calms babies, so that works too. Sometimes, like I heard about how if you read to your infants or whatever, they can fall asleep. I wish I would have tried that, but it didn't work out. So then the don'ts, discourage your baby from mouthing books. This is one way she explores books. It's part of how she learns about everything. Don't stop reading. If your toddler crawls away, keep reading, she'll come back. If not, try again. Get upset by Tom pages. Babies are stronger than most books. Luckily, there are plenty of board books just made for the purpose of being chewed on. Don't think you have to finish every book. You may not have reached the end of the book, but you did share some nice reading time together. Spent quality time together. That's always good. Sometimes they can cuddle you and yeah. Don't give books away too soon. Even when they grow to the next stage, they might like to revisit, you know, old books. I would like to keep one so she can see when she's older. Always read at the same pace. Speed up, slow down, use different voices, and make like funny animal sounds when it comes to those animal books. That can be interesting for them. If you think don't think your baby isn't learning. She's benefiting intellectually, socially, and emotionally from the time you start sharing stories. Babies don't so much read books as explore them. They use all their senses to take in a book. It's about the words, the story, the pictures, the physical book itself, and the cuddling with you. It can take a lot of patience to finish even a short picture book with a baby, but try to keep an open mind and have fun. To a baby, eating a book can just be satisfying as reading. Just think you'll be rewarded with a child who loves books because she's received Head Start in literacy and in life. And then I do have a video, but I only wanted to play like the first minute of it, so I don't think the rest of it really matters. And I don't know if it'll let me do it. But yeah, it's not gonna let me. Can I try like this and like type it in Google or no?
I would just copy and paste the YouTube link or the link of the video into a new tab.
Okay.
Just the link.
Because this was witnessed to me last night, and I was trying so hard to get it figured out, and it was like making me mad because it wouldn't let me. And Yeah, see, I tried this last night and it was doing the same thing.
I think it was through EBSCO, so you gotta log in through there and everything because it's password protected.
Yeah, last night I couldn't really figure it out either. Well, it was only like the first minute of it anyways, so.